Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about how we could use curiosity as a way to build connection with your teen. And as I was thinking about that, first thinking about where teens are in terms of their development is at this really interesting stage of life where they are figuring out this question of who they are, where they belong, and no longer just under the context of where I belong in terms of with my family. And so it's this healthy exploration of outside of my family, uh, in addition to my family, not instead of. Although as a parent, it might feel like they're thinking instead of, but in addition to my family, where else do I belong? And it's of course, we know there's the teenage angst and emotionality that we notice, and as a parent, it can be really hard to feel like I am confident in my way of connecting with my teen or where they are. Um, and so, I wanted to share how curiosity can be a big tool in fostering that connection. So, one way we could use that curiosity is in the things that your teen is interested in. Is it activities that they do, extracurriculars, sports? Is it things they do online, hobbies of theirs? How, asking yourself, how as a parent can I show some curiosity? Not some, we don't want it to be an interview and like rapid fire questioning because that's going to lead to probably turning off that discussion, but just, oh, wow, that sounds so interesting. Can you tell me more about it? A huge way that you never even have to say anything too much about is just showing up. So, showing up to a sports event, to um, things like that shows that you really care. So, being curious about the things that your teen is interested in, even if it's not in the conversation that you feel so connected, your teen will pick up on your desire to connect, your desire to learn more about it. Another place that can be a little tricky to be curious in is curious about the emotions that you're noticing. And so sometimes we might get tempted to say, "Oh, I know you've been so sad lately," or "Why are you always so angry?" or "Why did you talk to me that way?" or "Why did you do this?" or "Why?" And so we're kind of being as a parent more judgy than curious. Um, and so the curious version of that is, hey, I've noticed you've been more quick to get angry to things that usually wouldn't bother you. I'm wondering if you've noticed that or what's that about? And so it's the same area that we're wanting to talk to the teen about, but the approach is more with curiosity than with judgment or reprimand or you're in trouble or why are you doing this? And it's going to help the teen feel more comfortable opening up potentially. Again, not necessarily in that very moment, but you're planting some seeds that these are things we can talk about. Um, and so being curious about emotion versus judgy or critical about emotion is going to be a big part of how you can better connect with your teen. And then the last way that can also be a little tricky sometimes is curious about their worldview, right? Curious about what they think about certain situations or certain topics, sex, drugs, whatever it is. Sometimes these topics that we really want to stay away from, and it's not that you can't share with your teen where you're coming from with that or have boundaries or things like that, but fostering connection means being curious about where they're coming from. Otherwise, they have to do the typical nod their head. Okay, is this conversation over? While they're hearing parent lecture, right? But instead, we want it to be, what do you know about this topic, or what what do you think about this, or um, how about your friend group? What does everybody else think about that? Is it hard to navigate that sometimes? So whatever that topic is, being curious about where they're coming from, more than trying to educate them or um, have them think a certain way about it. Even if sometimes that's the end goal, a good way to get there is by letting there be room to hear where they're already at in that topic. So just a few ways that we can use curiosity in our parenting to help foster connection, especially with teenagers. So I hope that was helpful. I'm Dr. Daniel with Simi Psychological Group, and thank you for listening.